Now, we expect so much from the things we love. So that's gotta make you wonder, why should we expect any different from our motorcycles, especially the big capacity ones? Now, that's a question that Honda has been pondering for quite some time now, and looks like they finally have an answer. Enter the Honda CBR 650F, powered by an inline-4 648cc engine, dressed in a sporty fairing and loaded with twin 320mm disc at the front and ABS as standard. So it obviously has all the ingredients, but the question is, can it do it all? Now, we Indians are a sucker for fair motorcycles. It's a fact. But to be fair to this bike, it is a rather good looking one, especially in the flesh. The only thing I don't quite like about the bike is the instrument cluster. I mean, it has this really nice carbon fiber like cover on the side, but there's a lot of empty space and it doesn't look quite as premium as the overall styling of the motorcycle. But other than the gear indicator, it does tell you all the information at a glance. And the ergonomics too are custom tuned for our Indian audience. And the CBR can be an even better commuter. Honda hadn't interchanged the horn and the indicator. Now that can get really confusing and frustrating, especially in a country like ours, where all our brethren rely more on the ears than the eyes when they take to the road. And so I headed out to the highway, where I could appreciate the protection provided by the windscreen and the comfort of the white padded seat, where I could enjoy the fantastic ride quality provided by the perfectly damped suspension, and where I could let her sing. And you really gotta coax it into singing this beautiful inline-4 symphony, because the CBR likes to put its power down in a very linear fashion and only really comes into its own after 7,000 RPM. So when you're here on the highway, coasting in higher gears, for quick overtakes, you will have to shift down a gear. But this power delivery also means that it's really user-friendly and it'll be great for people who are not used to big capacity motorcycles and all this power. As for me, well, I'm in a mood to crack the whip. So let's head out to the mountains. First thing you notice when you start pushing this bike in corners are the vibes. It could be just this particular bike, but it's uncharacteristically buzzy for a Honda. Even the gearbox seems to take a little more effort. It's not as butter smooth as what you typically expect from a Honda. The second thing you notice are the brakes. Tremendous bite and amazing feedback. And they are well supported by the suspension. I mean, the front is still soft, but has really good damping, which means even under hard braking, it doesn't dive too much. And the rear, with just a few clicks of preload, holds up really well and helps you extract all the grip and all the performance from the Dunlops. Well, let's set the record straight. This is no super sport and there's no hiding its weight in tight corners and during quick change of direction. Also the front end, I mean, because of the longer wheelbase and 50-50 weight distribution, you don't have the same front end feed off for super sport, and even the steering is not as quick. But then again, that also means that once you tip the bike in a corner, it is rock steady and it will stay planted even when you're scraping foot pegs. Something which you will do a lot once you start pushing the bike because of the lower cornering clearance on the CBR, which doesn't allow you to be a hoon and allows the bike to stay true to its good boy image. I mean, that has to seal the deal for Honda, right? Not really. At 7.6 lakhs, this is almost as expensive as the Kawasaki Z800, which has set the benchmark in the middleweight category for value for money. And with the kind of componentry it comes short with, there's no way the CBR can come even close to matching it, let alone beating it. Here's here's the thing. I don't really think it's fair to compare these two motorcycles because they belong to completely different genres of motorcycling, and I feel that requirement or the need is just as important as the price when it comes to the buying process of a motorcycle. I mean, the Z800 might be a lot more powerful, a lot more value for money, but it still doesn't have a fairing. It's a lot heavier, and it also, it's not half as comfortable as the CBR in the city or even on the highways. So what I feel Honda is trying to do here is try to create a small niche for itself in the fair yet comfortable middleweight segment, which so far has been occupied by the Ninja 650 and the Benelli GT 600. The Ninja 650 in comparison is a parallel twin motor which doesn't get as good brakes, ABS or as wide a rear tire. The GT2 doesn't get ABS, is a lot heavier and is more focused for touring, making for a less viable option for day-to-day commute. And therein lies the advantage of the CBR 650F and Honda's justification for the higher price tag.
And unfortunately, this CBR doesn't bring enough to the table for the experienced and more focused riders for the price it commands.
But I'm sure there are other people out there who want a Honda which can do it all and don't mind paying a little bit more for comfort and reliability than all-out performance. And on that front, the CBR 650F delivers in spades.